The big surprise. The big space station hung in the dark sky like a shiny toy. Aliens from all over the galaxy worked there. They watched the stars and kept everyone safe. It was a normal day for them. Zix, a blue alien with 3 eyes, sat at his desk. He looked at the big screen in front of him. Suddenly, he saw something strange. A red dot appeared where it shouldn't be. "Hey, Gloop," Zix called to his friend. "Come look at this." Gloop, a green blob with tentacles, slid over. "What's up, Zix?" "There's something weird out there," Zix said, pointing at the screen. Gloop looked closely. The red dot was getting bigger. "That's not one of ours," he said, worried. Zix pressed a big red button. Alarms started to ring all over the station. Aliens of all shapes and sizes ran around, panicking. The station's boss, a tall alien named Krang, rushed in. "What's going on?" he shouted. Zix pointed at the screen. "Something's coming, boss. We don't know what it is." Krang's eyes got wide. In all his years, he had never seen anything like this. "Send out the welcome team," he ordered. "But be careful." Outside the station, a group of small ships flew towards the red dot. As they got closer, they saw it wasn't a dot at all. It was a ship, but like no ship they had ever seen. The alien ship looked like a mix of different things. It had big round parts, long pointy bits, and things sticking out all over. It was silver and blue and looked very strange to the aliens. "What is that thing?" one alien pilot asked. "I don't know," another answered, "but it's kind of cool looking." Back on the station, everyone watched the big screen. The strange ship was now clear to see. It was big, but not as big as they thought at first. Suddenly, a voice came from the ship. It spoke in a language no one knew. Krang looked at his best language expert. "What are they saying?" he asked. The expert shook his head. "I don't know, boss. I've never heard anything like it." Then the voice changed. It started speaking in the common language of the galaxy. "Hello," it said. "We come in peace. We are humans from the planet Earth." Everyone in the room looked at each other. Earth? Humans? No one had ever heard of such things. Krang stepped forward. "Welcome, humans," he said, trying to sound brave. "We are the Galactic Alliance. Why have you come here?" There was a pause. Then the human voice spoke again. "We're here to join you," it said. "We've been watching and learning. Now we're ready to be part of the galaxy." Zix looked at Gloop. "Did they say they've been watching us?" he whispered. Gloop nodded. "That's a bit creepy," he said. Krang was thinking hard. This had never happened before. A new species didn't just show up with a big ship. "Can we see you?" he asked the humans. "Of course," the voice said. The big screen changed. Now they could see inside the human ship. There were creatures there that looked a bit like some aliens, but different too. They stood on 2 legs and had 2 arms. Their heads had fur on top, and they wore colorful clothes. One human stepped forward. It smiled, showing white teeth. "Hello," it said. "I'm Captain Lee of the Starship Hope. We're Earth's first deep space ship." Krang tried to smile back, but he was still confused. "Welcome, Captain Lee," he said. "But I have to ask, how did you get here? Your ship is unusual." Captain Lee laughed. It was a strange sound to the aliens. "Oh, this old thing," Lee said, patting a wall. "It's just something we put together. We're good at making do with what we have." The aliens all looked at each other. Put together. Made do. This ship had flown across space. "We have much to talk about," Krang said. "Will you dock with our station?" Captain Lee nodded. "We'd be happy to," he said. "We're looking forward to meeting everyone." As the human ship moved towards the station, the aliens watched in wonder and fear. Zix looked at Gloop again. "I think things are about to get very interesting," he said. Gloop nodded. "You can say that again," he replied. And so, the big surprise was just the beginning. The humans had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Alien panic. The human ship, Hope, moved slowly towards the space station. Aliens of all kinds rushed to the big windows to watch. They had never seen anything like it before. Inside the station, things were crazy. Krang, the boss, tried to keep everyone calm, but it wasn't easy. Aliens ran around, shouting and waving their arms, or tentacles, or wings. "What do we do?" asked Zix, his 3 eyes blinking fast. "I don't know," said Gloop, his green body shaking like jelly. Krang took a deep breath. "We need to be ready," he said. "Zix, get the welcome team ready. Gloop, check our safety systems. Everyone else, try to act normal." But acting normal was hard. As the human ship got closer, more strange things happened. First, the station's computers started to act weird. Screens flashed on and off. Doors opened and closed by themselves. "What's going on?" Krang asked the tech team. The head tech alien, a robot named Beep Boop, looked confused. "I don't know, boss," it said. "It's like the humans are, talking to our computers somehow." Next, the station's gravity went funny. Some aliens floated up in the air. Others felt very heavy and could hardly move. "Fix it," Krang shouted. Beep Boop tried, but nothing worked. "The system won't listen to me," it said. Then the strangest thing happened. The big screen in the control room turned on by itself. The face of Captain Lee appeared, smiling. "Sorry about that," the human said. "We were just saying hello to your systems. They're very friendly." Krang's mouth fell open. You can control our station?" he asked. Captain Lee shook his head. "Not control. Just chat with. Your computers seem happy to talk to us." The aliens looked at each other. Computers being happy? Talking to alien systems? This was not normal. Meanwhile, the welcome team was getting ready to meet the humans, but they were having problems too. "What do we wear?" asked Floor, a slimy alien in charge of clothes. "What will they eat?" asked Growl, the food alien. "Can they breathe our air?" asked Puff, who looked after the air. No one knew the answers. They had never met humans before. Back in the control room, Krang was trying to talk to Captain Lee. "How did you find us?" Krang asked. "Oh, we've known about you for a while," Lee said. "We've been listening to your space radio for years." Krang's eyes got big. "You've been spying on us?" he asked. Lee laughed. "Not spying. Learning. We wanted to know more before we said hello." This made the aliens even more nervous. What else did the humans know? As the human ship got ready to connect to the station, more weird things happened. The station's plants started to grow very fast. Flowers bloomed everywhere. Vines grew along the walls. "It's beautiful," said some aliens. "It's scary," said others. Then, all the food in the station's kitchens changed. Strange new smells filled the air. "What's that?" asked Growl, sniffing. "The humans call it pizza," said a voice from the computer. "They thought you might like to try it." Growl looked scared. The computer wasn't supposed to talk by itself. Finally, the human ship connected to the station. Everyone held their breath as the doors opened. Captain Lee stepped out first. He looked around and smiled. "Hello, everyone," he said. "Thanks for having us." The aliens stared. The humans looked so strange. They walked on 2 legs. They had fur on their heads. Their clothes were colorful and different. More humans came out. They looked excited and happy. They waved at the aliens and tried to shake hands, or tentacles, or wings. Some aliens hid. Some tried to be friendly. Some just stood there, not sure what to do. Krang stepped forward. He tried to look brave. "Welcome to our station," he said. "We have many questions for you." Captain Lee nodded. "And we have many answers," he said. "But first, who wants to try some pizza?" The aliens looked at each other. This was not how they thought first contact would be. The humans were strange. They did things no one expected. They made the aliens feel confused and a little scared. But they also seemed friendly. And they had pizza. Zix looked at Gloop. "I think our lives just got a lot more interesting," he said. Gloop nodded. "And a lot more tasty," he added, eyeing the pizza. The galaxy would never be the same again. The age of humans had begun. The big secret. 2 weeks had passed since the humans arrived. The space station was still buzzing with excitement and worry. Aliens from all over the galaxy came to see the strange new visitors. But some aliens weren't happy. They wanted to know the humans' secrets. "Their ship is too powerful," said Zorg, the leader of the Zorkian Empire. "We must find out how it works." Zorg talked to his best spy, a small, sneaky alien named Slith. "Get on that ship," Zorg ordered. "Find out what makes it special." Slith nodded and slithered away. He was very good at hiding and very, very curious. Meanwhile, the humans were making friends. They shared their food, told funny stories, and showed off cool tricks. Many aliens liked them. Captain Lee spent a lot of time with Krang, teaching him about Earth. "We have many different people on our planet," Lee said. "We had to learn to work together." Krang nodded, but he was still confused. "But how did you build such an amazing ship?" he asked. Lee just smiled. "Oh, we're good at putting things together," he said. This made Krang even more curious. What were the humans hiding? That night, when most aliens and humans were sleeping, Slith made his move. He snuck onto the human ship, moving like a shadow. Inside, the ship was strange. It had smooth walls and bright lights. Slith saw many rooms with things he didn't understand. "This is weird," he thought. "Where's the engine room?" He slithered down a long hallway. At the end was a big door with a sign that said, "Danger. Do NOTNTR." This must be it, Slith thought. He used his spy tools to open the door. Inside was the biggest surprise of all. The room was full of nothing. Well, not exactly nothing. There was a small box in the middle of the room. It glowed with a soft blue light. Slith moved closer. The box hummed quietly. It didn't look like any engine he had ever seen. Suddenly, a voice spoke. "Hello there. Are you lost?" Slith jumped and turned around. A human was standing in the doorway, smiling. I was just looking around," Slith said, trying to sound innocent. The human nodded. "Curious about our ship, huh? That's okay. We like curious people. I'm Dr. Kim, the ship's scientist. Want me to explain how it works?" Slith couldn't believe his luck. "Yes, please," he said. Dr. Kim walked over to the glowing box. "This is our power source," she said. "We call it the Imagination Engine." "Imagination Engine?" Slith asked. "What's that?" Dr. Kim smiled. "It's a machine that turns ideas into energy," she said. "We humans are very good at imagining things. This engine takes our ideas and makes them real." Slith's eyes got big. "Is that how you made your ship so powerful?" he asked. "Partly," Dr. Kim said. "But the real secret is how we work together. The engine works best when we all share our ideas and dreams." Slith was amazed. He had never heard of anything like this before. Just then, Captain Lee walked in. He saw Slith and smiled. "Made a new friend, Dr. Kim?" he asked. Dr. Kim nodded. "This little guy was curious about our ship," she said. Lee looked at Slith. "You know, curiosity is a great thing," he said. "It's what brought us humans to the stars. Maybe you'd like to learn more about our technology." Slith forgot all about being a spy. He was too excited. "Can I really?" he asked. "Of course," Lee said. "We believe in sharing knowledge. That's how everyone grows and gets better." For the next few hours, the humans showed Slith around their ship. They explained how they used their creativity and teamwork to solve problems. They showed him cool inventions and funny gadgets. By the time Slith left the ship, his head was full of new ideas. He forgot all about reporting to Zorg. Instead, he went to find his alien friends. "You won't believe what I learned," he told them. "The humans have the most amazing ideas, and they want to share them with us." Soon, aliens from all over the station were talking to the humans, sharing ideas, and working together on new projects. Krang watched all this with surprise. "I think I understand now," he said to Captain Lee. "Your real power isn't your technology. It's your ability to bring people together and imagine new things." Lee nodded. "That's right," he said. "And now that we're here, we can all imagine a better future together." The big secret was out. But it wasn't a secret weapon or a scary technology. It was the power of human creativity and friendship, and it was changing the galaxy in ways no one had ever imagined. Space drama. The big meeting room on the space station was full. Aliens from all over the galaxy were there. They had come to talk about the humans. Krang stood at the front of the room. He looked nervous. "We're here to decide what to do about our new friends," he said. The room erupted in noise. Everyone had something to say. "The humans are dangerous," shouted Zorg. He was still angry that his spy plan didn't work. "We should make them leave." "No way," said Florp, waving his slimy arms. "The humans are cool. They taught me how to make ice cream." More aliens started shouting. Some were scared of the humans. Others thought the humans were great. In the middle of all this, Captain Lee and his crew sat quietly. They watched as the aliens argued. "Should we say something?" whispered Dr. Kim to Lee. Lee shook his head. "Not yet," he said. "Let's see how this plays out." The arguing got louder. Some aliens were so angry that they started to change colors. Others grew extra arms to wave around. Suddenly, a small voice spoke up. "Stop." Everyone turned to look. It was Slith, the former spy. "Why are we fighting?" Slith asked. "The humans have been nothing but kind to us. They've shared their knowledge and helped us solve problems." Zorg glared at Slith. "They're too powerful," he said. "What if they decide to take over?" Slith shook his head. "If they wanted to take over, they could have done it already," he said. "But they didn't. They asked to join us as friends." This made many aliens think. They looked at the humans with new eyes. Then another alien stood up. It was Beep Boop, the robot. "The humans have improved our technology," it said. "Our computers work better than ever. We should learn from them." More aliens nodded. They remembered all the good things the humans had done. But some were still worried. "What if other aliens get mad at us for being friends with humans?" asked a small furry alien. This was a good question. The room got quiet as everyone thought about it. Then Captain Lee stood up. "May I speak?" he asked Krang. Krang nodded, looking relieved. "Please do," he said. Lee looked around the room. He smiled at all the different aliens. "We humans have a saying," he began. "A rising tide lifts all boats." Do you know what that means? Many aliens shook their heads. They didn't understand. Lee explained. "It means that when things get better for one group, they often get better for everyone. We didn't come here to take over or to cause trouble. We came to join you, to learn from you, and to help if we can." He paused, then continued. "Yes, we have some new ideas and technologies, but you have amazing things too. Together, we could do so much more than we could alone." The room was very quiet now. Everyone was listening closely. "We know some of you are scared," Lee said. "That's okay. New things can be scary, but they can also be exciting. We're not asking you to trust us completely right away. We're just asking for a chance to prove that we can be good friends and helpful allies." As Lee finished speaking, the room stayed quiet for a moment. Then, slowly, aliens started to talk to each other. The angry shouting was gone. Now they were discussing ideas. Krang looked relieved. He turned to Lee. "Thank you," he said. I think you've given us a lot to think about. Lee nodded. Take all the time you need, he said. We'll be here. For the next few hours, the aliens talked and talked. They made lists of good things and bad things about the humans. They thought about the future and what it might be like with humans as part of their galaxy. Finally, Krang called for a vote. All those in favor of allowing the humans to join our Galactic Alliance, raise your hands, or tentacles, or whatever you use. Slowly, hands and tentacles and wings and glowing lights began to rise. More and more aliens voted yes. In the end, the vote was clear. The humans would be welcomed into the Galactic Alliance. There was a cheer from many aliens. Even some who had been worried looked happy now. Krang turned to Captain Lee with a big smile. Welcome to the galaxy, humans, he said. Officially this time. Lee grinned and shook Krang's hand, carefully, because Krang had very sharp claws. We're honored to join you, he said. Now who's ready to start working together? As the aliens and humans began to mingle and talk excitedly about future plans, Slith looked around the room. He saw former enemies becoming friends. He saw ideas being shared and new partnerships forming. Maybe this is the start of something really big, he thought. And for once, the idea of big changes didn't scare him at all. The bad guys attack. Everything was peaceful in the galaxy. The humans had been part of the Galactic Alliance for 3 months now. They were making friends and helping solve problems. But far away, in the dark part of space, something was waking up. It was the Void Eaters, an ancient and evil race. They had been sleeping for thousands of years. Now, they were hungry and angry. The leader of the Void Eaters, a scary creature named Zyx, looked at the galaxy with its many glowing stars. Food, it hissed. Let's eat it all. Back at the Galactic Alliance space station, no one knew about the danger. Aliens and humans were busy working together on cool new projects. Zyx and Gloop were in the control room with Captain Lee. They were looking at star maps and planning a fun trip. Suddenly, all the alarms started ringing. Red lights flashed everywhere. What's happening? Shouted Zyx, his 3 eyes blinking fast. Gloop slid to a computer. Something big is coming, he said. Lots of somethings. Captain Lee looked serious. Show me, he said. On the big screen, they saw hundreds of black ships. The ships looked like they were made of shadows. They were heading straight for the Alliance planets. Oh no, whispered Gloop. It's the Void Eaters. They're just a scary story. They can't be real. But they were real. And they were attacking everything in their path. Krang rushed into the room. Our weapons aren't working, he shouted. The Void Eaters eat energy. They just get stronger when we shoot at them. Everyone looked scared. How could they fight an enemy that got stronger when attacked? Captain Lee thought hard. We need to warn everyone, he said. And we need a plan. They sent messages to all the planets and ships in the Alliance. Danger. Void Eaters attacking. Don't use energy weapons. But it was hard to fight without weapons. The Void Eaters destroyed planet after planet. They ate stars and left only darkness behind. The Galactic Alliance tried everything. They used rocks and sticks and even threw garbage at the Void Eaters. Nothing worked. We need help, said Krang. He looked at Captain Lee. Your ship. It's different. Maybe it can do something. Lee nodded. We'll try, he said, but we'll need everyone's help. Lee explained his plan. It was crazy. It was dangerous. But it was the only idea they had. The imagination engine doesn't just make energy, Lee said. It can make anything we can imagine. If we all work together, maybe we can imagine something that can stop the Void Eaters. Aliens from all over the galaxy came to help. They all put their hands, or tentacles, or wings, on the imagination engine. They closed their eyes and thought hard. They imagined light so bright it could push back darkness. They imagined love so strong it could stop hate. They imagined hope that could grow in the darkest places. The imagination engine started to glow. It got brighter and brighter. Soon it was shining like a new star. "It's working," shouted Dr. Kim. "But we need more power." More aliens joined in. Even Slith and Zord helped. Everyone thought as hard as they could about stopping the Void Eaters. The human ship started to change. It grew bigger. It glowed with all the colors of the rainbow. It looked like hope and dreams made real. Captain Lee flew the ship towards the Void Eaters. The evil creatures hissed and tried to eat the ship, but they couldn't. The ship was made of something the Void Eaters had never seen before. It was made of imagination and friendship and bravery. These were things the Void Eaters couldn't eat. The glowing ship flew into the middle of the Void Eater fleet. It grew brighter and brighter. The Void Eaters screamed and tried to run away. There was a flash of light so bright that everyone had to close their eyes. When they opened them again, the Void Eaters were gone. Where the evil ships had been, there were now beautiful stars. The darkness had been pushed back. On the space station, everyone cheered. Aliens hugged each other and danced. They had won. Krang looked at Captain Lee with wide eyes. "How did you know that would work?" he asked. Lee smiled. "I didn't," he said, "but I believed in all of us. Together, we can do amazing things." Zix and Gloop high-fived, which was tricky because Gloop didn't have hands. "Humans are awesome," they said. As the celebrations went on, Slith looked out at the stars. They seemed brighter now. "I guess the universe is full of surprises," he thought. "And that's a good thing." The Galactic Alliance had faced its biggest challenge, and with the help of their new human friends, they had won. The future looked brighter than ever. Humans saved the day. The big space battle was over. The Void Eaters were gone. But the galaxy was a mess. Many planets were hurt. Some stars were missing. Everyone was scared and sad. Captain Lee looked at the damage on the big screen. He frowned. "We need to help," he said. Krang nodded. "But how?" he asked. "It would take years to fix everything." Lee smiled. "Maybe not," he said. "I have a crazy idea." He called a big meeting. Aliens from all over came to listen. Even aliens who used to be enemies came. "Friends," Lee said, "we'd beat the Void Eaters by working together. Now we need to work together again to fix our home." He explained his plan. It was wild. It was risky. But it just might work. "We'll use the imagination engine again," Lee said. "But this time, we'll imagine healing and growth. We'll think about making things better, not just fighting bad guys." Some aliens looked confused. Others looked excited. Zix raised a hand. "But the imagination engine is on your ship," he said. "It's not big enough to fix the whole galaxy." Lee grinned. "That's where you're all wrong," he said. "The imagination engine isn't just on our ship. It's in all of us. Every time we dream, every time we hope, we're using our own imagination engines." The room was very quiet. Everyone was thinking hard about what Lee said. "If we all work together," Lee continued, "if we all imagine a better galaxy at the same time, we can make it real, just like we did to beat the Void Eaters." Gloop raised a wobbly tentacle. "But how?" he asked. "We're all different. We don't all think the same way." "That's the best part," Lee said. "We don't need to think the same way. We just need to think about making things better, each in our own way." Slowly, aliens started to nod. They began to see how it could work. Krang stood up. "I think it's worth a try," he said. "What do we do?" Lee explained the plan. They would use the space station's computers to connect everyone in the galaxy. At the same time, everyone would think hard about healing and growing, and making things better. It took a few days to get ready. Aliens taught each other how to use their imaginations. Humans showed them how to dream big. Finally, it was time. Every planet, every ship, every alien and human was ready. Captain Lee's voice came over the speakers. "Okay, everyone," he said. "Close your eyes. Think about the best galaxy you can imagine. Think about healing the hurt planets. Think about growing new stars. Think about peace and friendship. Ready? Go. All over the galaxy, aliens and humans closed their eyes. They thought hard. They imagined amazing things. On a hurt planet, a little alien child thought about flowers growing. In space, a pilot imagined new stars being born. On the space station, Zix and Gloop held hands, sort of, and thought about new planets where everyone could live together. At first, nothing seemed to happen. But then, slowly, things began to change. On the hurt planets, new plants started to grow. Dead soil came back to life. Broken buildings fixed themselves. In the dark parts of space where stars had died, tiny lights appeared. They grew brighter and brighter. Soon, new stars were shining. All over the galaxy, amazing things were happening. Everywhere people looked, they saw healing and growth. On the space station, the big screen showed it all. Aliens and humans watched in wonder. They saw their imagination becoming real. "It's working," shouted Krang. "It's really working." The healing went on for hours. Everyone kept thinking and imagining. They didn't want to stop. Finally, Lee's voice came again. "Okay, everyone," he said. "You can open your eyes now." All over the galaxy, aliens and humans looked around. What they saw made them gasp. The galaxy was more beautiful than ever before. The hurt planets were healed. New stars shone brightly. There were even new planets where there had been nothing before. But the biggest change was in the people. Aliens who had been enemies were now friends. Everyone felt more connected, more part of one big galactic family. On the space station, there was a big party. Aliens and humans danced and sang. They ate weird food and told funny stories. Krang found Captain Lee in the crowd. "Thank you," he said. "You humans saved us all." Lee shook his head. "No," he said. "We all saved each other. We just showed you how to use the power you already had." As the party went on, Slith looked out at the stars. They seemed to twinkle at him. "You know," he said to no one in particular, "I think the galaxy is more interesting with humans in it." Everyone who heard him agreed. The age of humans had truly begun, and it was going to be amazing. New friends. A year had passed since the big adventure with the Void Eaters. The galaxy was a very different place now. Everywhere you looked, you could see humans and aliens working together. On the space station, Zix and Gloop were giving a tour to some new alien visitors. They were very proud of their home. "And this," said Zix, pointing to a shiny machine, "is a pizza maker. The humans taught us how to make it. It's delicious." The new aliens looked confused. "What's pizza?" one of them asked. Gloop wiggled happily. "Oh, you're in for a treat," he said. "It's the best thing humans brought to the galaxy. Well, maybe the second best thing." "What's the first best thing?" another alien asked. Zix and Gloop looked at each other and smiled. "Friendship," they said together. Meanwhile, in the big meeting room, Captain Lee was talking to alien leaders from all over the galaxy. They were planning a new project. "We want to build a school," he said. "A place where humans and aliens can learn from each other. What do you think?" Krang nodded excitedly. "I love it," he said. "We can teach each other about our cultures, our sciences, our ways of thinking." Other alien leaders agreed. They all had ideas about what to teach and learn. "Humans can teach us about imagination," said a tall, tree-like alien. "We can teach humans about living in space," said a small, glowing alien. Everyone was excited about the school. They started making plans right away. In another part of the station, Dr. Kim was working with alien scientists. They were studying the imagination engine. "It's amazing," said Beep Boop, the robot scientist. "The engine doesn't just make energy. It can change reality itself." Dr. Kim nodded. "But only when we work together," she said. "That's the real power. Not the machine, but the people using it." The scientists were trying to make small imagination engines that everyone could use. They thought it could help solve problems all over the galaxy. Outside the station, human and alien ships flew together in space. They were exploring new parts of the galaxy that no one had seen before. Slith was on one of these ships. He wasn't a spy anymore. Now he was an explorer, and he loved it. "Look," he said, pointing out the window. "A new planet." The ship flew closer to the planet. It was beautiful, with purple oceans and golden clouds. "Should we land?" asked the human pilot. Slith nodded eagerly. "Yes. Let's see what we can discover." Back on the station, Zorg was teaching a class. He wasn't an angry leader anymore. Now he taught aliens and humans how to understand each other better. "Remember," he said to his students, "everyone thinks differently. That's not bad. It's good. When we put our different ideas together, we can do amazing things." The students nodded. They were from many different planets, but they were all friends now. In the station's park, alien and human children played together. They didn't care that they looked different or came from different worlds. They just had fun. A small alien child was teaching the human child how to change colors. The human child was teaching the alien how to whistle. They both laughed when they got it wrong and cheered when they got it right. As the day ended, everyone gathered in the big hall for a special event. It was the anniversary of the day humans joined the Galactic Alliance. Krang stood up to speak. "A year ago," he said, "we were scared of humans. We didn't understand them. But now, we can't imagine the galaxy without them." Everyone clapped and cheered. Humans and aliens hugged each other. Captain Lee stood up next. "We've learned so much from all of you," he said. "You've become our teachers, our helpers, and our friends. Thank you for welcoming us to your galaxy." More cheers filled the room. Then Zix had an idea. "Let's use the imagination engine," he said. "Let's imagine an even better future." Everyone thought it was a great idea. They all held hands, or tentacles, or wings, and closed their eyes. They thought about peace and friendship and amazing adventures. The imagination engine began to glow. But this time, everyone could feel the warm light inside themselves too. They were all part of something big and wonderful. As they opened their eyes, they saw the stars outside the window twinkling brightly. It seemed like the whole galaxy was celebrating with them. Gloop looked around at all his friends, old and new. "You know what," he said, "I think this is just the beginning of our adventures together." Everyone agreed. With humans and aliens working together, imagining and exploring together, who knew what amazing things they would do next? The galaxy was full of new friends, new ideas, and new possibilities. And that was the best adventure of all.